Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a review on the brand new face palette from Patrick Ta. I am so excited for this palette. He did one of these last year, limited edition for the holiday season. This is also limited edition, but a different color story. Plus we have a highlight duo that has never been seen in this palette. This is called the Major Headlines Blush Palette Volume 2. We have two brand new blush duos in Giving Flirty and Giving Sunkissed, plus the debut of the highlighter duo, which is Giving Glossy in this palette. The palette is vegan, has a natural finish, hydrating, has both a pressed powder formula and cream formula, and is said to be long wearing. There has been a packaging change, as you can see. The old one was mirrored. You can see everything. And you can also see all your fingerprints. So he did change the packaging slightly. You can also see my fingerprints on this packaging. It just looks a little less dirty. The palette retails for $58 US, $75 Canadian. I like that this hasn't sold out yet because last year it was so hard to get your hands on this palette. Eventually he did come out with the blushes in here in singles, which I'm hopeful he's going to do with these blushes as well. The initial difference that I see, apart from the obvious inclusion of a highlight in this one, is that the blushes, specifically the creams, but also this pink shade, has some shimmer in it. I'm not sure how chunky of a shimmer this is going to be. I'm hoping it's not glittery. You guys know how much I don't like glittery products. I don't mind a little bit of a shimmer, but if it has chunks of glitter, it's gonna be a no for me. So you can also see a little bit of shimmer in the clear highlighter. It's basically clear. So all the creams have shimmer and just this middle corally shade doesn't have any in the matte. I'm obsessed with the middle shade. Obviously I like a nice pink, but corals are just my thing, and it's kind of a burnt coral, which is even more beautiful to me. So that's what really drew me into this palette. Plus trying his highlighter formula. I'm not into highlighters as much as I used to be, but I love the Patrick Ta formula, so I can't wait to try his variation of a highlight. And you have a cream and a powder, so it's kind of amazing that we get to try two formulas for that as well. Before I get on to the demo, I'm going to include some comparison swatches now between last year's palette and this year's palette, plus the singles that I do have, just so you can see if this is something you need, the overall differences of the colors and tones, and if I can save you some money. If you don't think you need it, or if you have something at home, may as well just pass on it. If you love the Patrick Ta formula, you're probably gonna be like me and just pick it up right away. But if you were curious about it, we're gonna try it on the skin. I'll let you know how it compares and see how it looks like on my medium skin tone. Zooming you in, and I will be clipping my hair back. I did get a little more blonde in my hair, if you can tell. I got my hair done yesterday. And I have other videos that I filmed that I'm pushing just so I can get this video up in a timely manner for you. So if I go back to being dark and then light again, now you know why. This video is taking priority right now. If you're curious about the rest of the makeup that I am wearing on my face, I will also have that linked down below in the what I'm wearing section. Wearing my favorite lip combo ever. I'm sure you've seen this a million times already. I want to dive into this palette. I am so excited for it. So like Patrick Ta, I'm going to start off with the blush first and then apply the cream over top to give it a glow to the skin. That's how he does it, to make it really mesh with the skin and just give a beautiful finish. If you want to punch it up a little bit more, you can put the powder on top of the cream, and that just makes it a little bit more vibrant, I feel, using his products. So you can use it either way. I'm going to do it like he does just for the sake of the video, but I do it both ways. I need a blush brush. Hold on. Filming a blush video and I didn't even pick out a brush. I didn't even have the beauty blender ready either. So I have my Makeup by Cheryl blush brush. This is my favorite blush brush currently. I'm going to start off with the pink and finish off with the corally shade. And we're going to go in with the powder. A lot of kick up, a lot of pigment on the brush. So I'm just going to tap that off a little bit. I'm going to be quite generous with applying this just so you can see the color. But that is one dip in, and wow. You can tell it does have a glow. And I didn't even apply any highlight. I would like it just like that without even applying cream. That's actually incredible. Wow. And I'm not typically a fan of shimmers. Hold on. Like trying to look at myself in the mirror and it still has the plastic. All right, doorbell. We will get through this today, I promise. Be right back. I'm not going to dip back in because that packed a punch on my skin tone just with that one dip in with the brush. I'm going to clean off my brush, use the same one, do the coral on the right side of my face, and then we're gonna go in with the cream. Some ASMR peeling. Gotta love that. Before I dip into this coral shade, mine actually came quite lifted in the pan. It's coming out slightly. I can't push it down though. It's kind of glued in like that lifted, which was slightly concerning to me. There was also a little bit of product cracked around the edge, but not enough I would consider this cracked by any means, but just wanted to note that mine just looks not perfect, I guess. As long as it's glued in secure, I'm not too concerned about it. Yes, visually it's lifting and that's kind of annoying, but what can you do? So going to dip into the coral. I don't find this shade as powdery for the kick up as the pink. We are getting a lot of pigment on the brush, but yeah, not as much is coming off that color. You can tell that the middle shade in Sunkissed has a more matte quality to it compared to this one. And typically I like a matte blush. And this is what's different about this palette is the inclusion of these shimmers. And I'm really liking this color, both in the color and in the finish. I think it's exceptionally beautiful. And I find it different than other pinks that I have in the market that are like this. It's because of that glow that really makes it stand out to me, because my other ones are quite matte, those bubblegum pinks that are really popular right now. But this is a bubblegum pink with a glow, which I think is stunning. I do like this color too, but just looking at my face, I think this livens me up a lot more than this color. They both look quite different on me, both in terms of the color and finish. I can visually see a difference in these. If you have deeper skin, it might be a little bit harder to tell the difference. I do think you're gonna have to build it up a lot more. And if you're very deep complected, you might want to skip out on this. This one is definitely a little bit more buildable, still pigmented, because you can see I just went in once with this and I have a lot of pigment on my cheeks. Definitely not as vibrant as last year's. Last year's was very intense. You needed just a small amount and you'd have full on bright cheeks. A lot of people don't like a bright blush. I understand that. I love all kinds of blush. This is definitely more daily wear for me. As much as I love last year's, and I can see why so many people don't think anything will compare to that, these colors, for my personal preference, I probably will actually use a little bit more, just overall. I wish there was another blush though, because I barely use highlight, but we need to try those creams. I love the inclusion of the cover, so none of that powder gets in there. I'm gonna go ahead and use one side of my sponge with the pink shade. Just going to tap it off on the back of my hand and go over top. This almost softened it a little bit, I feel, and made it more one with the skin. This color though, already, if he didn't come out with these in a single, I would buy this palette just for this color. That's how much I'm loving this color. It is so pretty. I hope he comes out with those as a single, because I could see a lot of people not wanting all the shades in here, especially the highlight. I haven't even used it yet and I'm already like, I'm not gonna use it, but that is absolutely stunning. I don't even want to ruin it by putting highlight on it, because that's the perfect amount of highlight for me, just like a healthy glow. I'm going to go in with the coral cream now. Have that on the other side of my sponge, tap it off on the back of my hand. And this one, I can notice a little bit of the glitter. The other one too, I guess. Small amount on the face. And you guys know how much I don't like shimmer or glitter. This isn't bad by any means. I can barely notice it. And with this much light on my face and I can barely notice it, I'm good to go. So that I'm really, really liking. I'm shocked though how much I like this color more than this one, because I thought it was going to be the opposite for me. So this one doesn't have as much glow because the powder is matte compared to this one. Still beautiful. What do you guys think? Are you liking it? Which one do you like more? I want to know your thoughts down below. For the highlight, I personally would do the cream first, then the powder to really amp it up. But I'm going to do it differently on both sides. So one side I'm going to apply the powder first and then put the cream on top, and the other I'm going to do cream then powder just to see the difference. I'm going to do the cream and then powder on this side just because I feel like that will maybe balance it. I have to still go in public like this. Taking the cream, doesn't even look like anything on the sponge. I can't even tell any of the glitters. And I'm just going to apply this first, literally doing nothing. Then I'm going to take the powder. This one's also fairly crumbly, and just apply it on top. Very gold. For how light the blushes can go, I'm surprised that this highlight is as dark as it is, because it's looking a little dark on my skin, and I feel like ruined the blush for me. This is coming from someone who doesn't often use highlights anymore, so I'm a little bit of a highlight hater at the moment. It's not my favorite formula because the powder looks quite powdery and then the cream is just very, very sheer. So I don't like either of them, I don't think. I'm gonna try it the other way. On this side of my face though, again, you might want to get a review from someone who actually enjoys highlights. Kind of on like a no highlight train right now. So I like the powder first. I think that looks a lot better than over top of the cream on this side. I'm glad I tried that out, honestly, both ways, because I don't like it. This side, this I would actually use that highlight. So that looks better. Okay, don't do what I did. Just do the way Patrick does. And then I do like this so far. I put a little bit on, not too much. I'm going to go in with a little bit of that cream over top, just see how that goes. Okay, so that's pretty. Do what Patrick does, even with the highlights. Do your powder, then cream. I know it's counterintuitive, especially for highlight for me, because that usually makes it pop if you have something sticky or wet before you go in with the powder. But it definitely looks better. Looks much better, more skin-like, more natural. The color doesn't look so harsh on my skin, blends in more. This side is just overall, I'm loving a whole lot more than this. Still like the color, but what did it do to my cheekbone? Doesn't this side look more hollow and just pointy right there? Maybe go in with some blush. I'm gonna do the blush on top, just kind of fix that. The consistency of the highlight, I find especially to be sticky. So if you have your hair down, like I'm gonna do, you might get it caught in, which is one thing I hate about gloss or gloss on the face, just the hair gets stuck in. So this kind of consistency is more so something I would use with my hair up. Definitely not on a windy day, because it would just annoy me. Final thoughts. Who's gonna like this? Who may want to pass? I would suggest, if you are of deeper skin tone, to definitely test this out to see if it will show up on you. You will still need to do a lot of building with this compared to the other palette, but that being said, those with fair skin who couldn't use last year's palette are going to enjoy this one a lot more, I think. I wish he would do 2 every single year though. Charlotte Tilbury just came out with 2 face palettes. Extremely stunning. I want to buy both of them. They just released, but I was kind of waiting for the Sephora sale. Couldn't wait for this though. But anyways, my final thoughts on this. The highlight formula for me is just not something that I'm going to reach for all the time. I would absolutely have loved, looking back, if this ever happens, to buy this blush in a single. That is the standout of this palette for me. I do like this color. I just feel like there's something special about this blush. In the powder, it does have that glow to it as well, so you don't even need that cream to give that really beautiful glow, healthy look to the cheeks. Even seeing this on my friend Steph, I felt the same way on her complexion as well. There's just something special about this pink. It just shows up so beautifully, so youthful, glowy. Doesn't emphasize texture, even though there's that shimmer in it, which I was worried about. Her and I both have pore issues, and it just sits so nicely on the skin. This being matte and then working in a glowy cream, because that also has this shimmer, is just a little bit contrasting to me. Still pretty, and I actually look more snatched on this side, if you can tell. I can really tell. Like this side looks almost gaunt compared to this one. This one gives you a plump look, and this one kind of sculpted me. It's noticeable to me, the difference. 2 different colors, 2 different finishes. Highlight, I personally would pass on. I wish there was another blush in that, maybe something more plummy or bronze. I think would have been super pretty. But overall, I'm happy with the purchase. I'm definitely going to use it because I love last year's palette. And this I'm probably going to reach for more just because I feel like the colors are more buildable for daily wear for me and not so punchy. I do enjoy a punchy blush, but this is definitely just more wearable for me. So very happy with the purchase. I do think some people are going to want this and not. So whatever your reasoning is behind purchasing or not purchasing this palette, leave it down below. Help others decide. You guys are the best for your comments, reviews, and I'd love to hear your opinion on the palette as well. I'm always open to your ideas and feedback. That's what makes it helpful for everyone here, is that we all gather in the comments and help each other out. So I do have normal to slightly dry skin. The Patrick Ta formula wears beautifully on my skin, not accentuating any sort of texture or anything I don't want it to do. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful formula. Definitely different though than last year. The creams especially, because he had that addition of the shimmers to it, which changes up the formula. So just know that going in. I don't think it's a bad thing. I have no lifting, went on just as easy. Everything that I would come to expect from Patrick Ta is in that palette. It's everything I wanted it to be. Yes, would I change some things? Probably, but I think it's worth the purchase for me. I'm so happy that I got it. Steph texted me. She said it was on Sephora app and I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when because we heard through the grapevine he was releasing another. I was on it. I'm like, add to cart, get to me as fast as possible so I can get this review up for you guys. If you were hesitant, because I know looking visually at this online, it looked more muted online. It is much more vibrant in person, which I'm pleasantly surprised about. I wish the tone was different on the highlight. This is kind of just clear. It doesn't have any sort of pigment or anything special. It does have shimmer in it, which I don't think does much in that. It's just glossy and balmy and almost like a Vaseline on the face, like one of those dewy sticks, just plain like that, which I don't personally need or use because of the irritation of my hair getting in it. I just can't get over this cheek though. It's given me life right now. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm going to edit, upload for you guys to watch it tonight. And I will let you know how this wears on me throughout the day. I'm also vlogging today, so you're going to be able to see how it wears in my Sunday upload, because that's when I'm going to upload my vlog. If you want to see wear on my skin, definitely tune in to that video on Sunday. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video, for spending some time with me today. I know there's going to be a ton of Patrick Ta reviews out there, so I really appreciate that you clicked on mine and wanted to know what I have to say. If you have not subscribed already, I would absolutely love for you to do so by hitting the red subscribe button, the bell if you want to be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you guys in my next one.